Hey everyone, I am James, and this is Thieves 101, your weekly catch-up show with everything 100 Thieves. We are going to be looking into the League of Legends team, the Apex Legends team, some of the roster changes with the Call of Duty team, and also some of the things around the org. What a crazy week it has been, with the League of Legends team potentially playing their last games of their League of Legends history, yet somehow making an incredible gauntlet run. But let's get right into it with League of Legends. It was a super week for the LTA North as we face off against C9 to start our playoff run. This was arguably our biggest game of the weekend, since if we lost, 100 Thieves League of Legends would be done for. But if we won, we continue into the LTA cross-conference playoffs. We came in as heavy underdogs for sure, but we also have just beaten Lion and Team Liquid. While C9 has just been upset by Shopify Rebellion, barely scraped past Disguised. So as C9 was on their downfall, we were on our upwards trajectory. Now against C9, we take map 1 because we're just better at team fights. But it's also hilarious how many times River outsmited Blabber, and the Atacon fights were also not C9's strength. Not to mention, giving Quid a collie is never a good idea. We were losing early game as usual, but a good couple catches enabled us to take one, especially at that Atacon fight. Now map 2, we botched an Aurora gank in mid lane, and from there it just snowballed into an absolute stomp, so they equalized 1-1. Back to map 3 though, River absolutely destroyed Blabber in the early game, but the bot lane also won quite heavily in lane. But then we threw heavily at Dragon number 2, getting aced. But what else would be deciding the fight than Atacon, when River once again outsmited Blabber, then 100 Thieves outfought C9. So we head to game point, map 4, and Quid locks Viego. It sounds suspect, but I feel like he only needed a couple of extra resets to make it work. Quid did great in laning, but C9 showed up for this one. Bot lane especially had a huge lead. Now once again, the Atacon find was sketchy, but it wasn't enough this time to bring it back. It was crazy that we were even able to take Cloud9 to map 5, but here we were, one game away from cross-conference playoffs. And then we saw the draft. For some reason they gave us both Yone and Pantheon, while they took TF on mid lane. But we lost an early Herald fight, and I truly thought that the game was over when we were down 5 kills in the early game. But then 3k down, Atacon spawned. Man, C9 must hate that thing after this game. The comeback starts, and then Blabber gets caught out and just snowballs out of control. The impossible happens, and we make it into the cross-conference playoffs. Now that was the game that I'm going to go most in-depth in. The other two games, one was against Shopify Rebellion, which was a dominant 3-0 victory. I feel like Quid was playing absolutely amazing this weekend, and so was FBI. Of course, we can't forget about that Game 3 Yone 5-man ultimate. Roll the clip.
Walks up and smites it away. Now Fudge takes a blast cone to safety. Realm Warp to get everybody out.
Okay, now let's roll it again, but with comms.
The river.
Look at Cassante a bit, yeah. Cassante rooted, Cassante rooted, Cassante rooted.
Just
Thank you.
So we already got Dragon.
Yeah. So what's your name? What's your name?
Oh my god.
Oh! Bye-bye!
Alright. That's enough of that clip. Maybe one more?
Now Fudge takes a blast cone to safety. Realm Warp to
their fates.
everybody out.
So we destroyed Shopify Rebellion, which was definitely amazing to see, and we headed into finals against FlyQuest, where I truly thought that we really had a chance. Game 1, we definitely should have won, but then at one point Dokla got caught out in side lane, and from there on it just snowballed out of our control. But we took game 2, so we were tied up 1-1. But then game 3 and 4, it just really seemed like we ran out of gas. But what was encouraging to see, that even 4 to 5k gold down, we were still in the team fights. So as we head into the LTA cross-conference playoffs, we're going to start off with Pain Gaming. Which actually, the game is today, so I might just cut in if we won or not. Hi there, Future James here. We indeed did win, 3-0. It was great. But after that, for the world spot, I'm 99% sure that we're going to be playing Shopify again. Yeah, so it's me again. So I was wrong and Shopify lost. We are going to be facing Red Canids after a 3-2 win over Shopify. So wonderful. We only have one question to answer with League of Legends. Will this be 100 Thieves' last dance? Now let's move on to Apex Legends. This weekend was quite difficult for the Apex Legends team as Genburten had some visa issues, so we had to sub in our coach Bronzy. Now that definitely showed as we ended our weekend 10th overall. Obviously it's difficult to play with a different teammate, but this first game was definitely rough. We got a 19th place, 2 14th places, then a 13th, a 9th, and a 6th place. Now when we finished 14th, we had some good kill games, 10 and 5 kills respectively, but that was enough for 12th place that day. Now in the next series, we were way better. In the second game, we got 3rd place, and in the third game, we actually won. Unfortunately, after that, we kind of fell off, so we took home a 6th place overall, placing us 10th place overall in the standings after the first round. Now that, without Genburten, is actually not bad overall. This next weekend, we're only going to have 1 series, so hopefully we survive that, and then we get Genburten back with his visa. So Gen did not make it on time, so it was another week with Bronzy. And we were pretty mediocre, taking home 10th place in Matchday 5. Now, just to touch on a little bit of Call of Duty, Envoy and Ghosty have been officially let go of the Call of Duty roster. Now, I'm not exactly sure which way this Call of Duty roster is going. I feel like Ghosty and Envoy were the people who were doing the dirty work. So if we bring in 2 other Slayers with Hydra and Scrap, I don't know if the team is going to function as well. I'm definitely sad for Ghosty, and I'm definitely sad for Envoy as well. Envoy is a little bit of a LA Thieves legend, and Ghosty stuck with the team even when we had not the best team around him. Now if we look around, those former teammates like Kremp and Nasty and Joe Deceives are actually in really good places, so we know that those players were actually not just duds. But let's hope we can bring in suitable replacements. At the moment, from what I'm hearing, Kenny and Abizi could be their replacements, which I would love to welcome Kenny back to LA Thieves. He is a legend. And it would be interesting to see a Hydra, Abizi partnership. I don't know how many more kills there would be on the map after Scrap, Abizi, and Hydra are slaying out. While we are on roster moves, we picked up Nuke to replace SJP on our Marvel Rivals roster. It did not start well as we lost 3-1 to the new Sentinels roster, but we'll see how it goes in the long run. Not to mention, we dropped our entire Valorant roster, including coaches. That is still ongoing as they are still under contract, so I will update as soon as we know anything else. But from there, we can transition perfectly into the around the organization news, as there was a new wave of layoffs. And with that, 2 very important people were hit. The rest of the people were obviously very, very important as well. But Logan Dodson was kind of a 100 Thieves legend. And also Josh with the LA Thieves team. I feel like I wouldn't even call him underrated because everybody rated him incredibly highly. And he was an incredible content piece for the LA Thieves team. Now, 100 Thieves content has been declining quite rapidly. I mean, if we look at any of the League of Legends vlogs that are happening nowadays, comparing it to the heist that was happening back in the day, or if we compare even the new Lexus with Vinny Hacker tour that they did comparatively to any old content, I mean the content has been dropping off a hill. And I'm not pointing any fingers at any of the people who are in the content. They can't do anything about it, but it definitely seems like they just gives a random person a camera and they just tell them to talk. And there's not really much effort put into it, which is very, very sad. So with another round of layoffs, I'm quite interested in which way the organization is going. It's definitely quite difficult to support them whenever the decisions just don't seem to be making sense. On a different note, the Demon Slayer drop was really, really cool. So at least we're still doing some cool drops. I was definitely expecting just a couple of anime pictures slapped on hoodies, but instead we actually got some really cool washed hoodies, and I would definitely pick up a couple of the items. But that's basically it, everything around the org and all of the esports that has been happening. Next week, we're going to be able to check out Pain Gaming against 100 Thieves on the League of Legends side, and we are going to resume ALGS Split 2 regular season and see what they can do, hopefully with Genburten, but maybe without Genburten. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell me why you did or didn't in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.